Hey, what's going on? It's Garrick and welcome back. I hope you're all having a great day today. Today is going to be a great day. And the reason why I say that, because today is part 3 of my Tesla transformation. I'm not sure if you've seen the video I've done in the past, but I've done a review and install on the add-on design Ambient LED light kit. And you can actually check out that video right up here. Recently, Add-on Design reached out to me and said, hey, we'd love for you to install the new LED light kit into my Tesla Model Y. And I said, absolutely, since I actually love the original kit. And not only did they send me one, but they actually sent me 2 LED light kits. Now I get to be super creative on these LED kits. Let's get to the car, let's unbox this, let's get this installed. Love to see how these LED kits illuminate my Tesla Model Y. I just want to show you real quick on my setup and how I did everything. As you can see here, I actually have the regular setup here in the center console. I do have it lit up here as well. I did do a custom installation on the footwells on both the passenger and the driver's side. And of course, I have the strip underneath here. I also did a custom install in the Honcho sunshade, as you can see here. This is the Powered Sunshade. Now, if you didn't have the sunshade, you would actually have to install it directly into the headliner between the glass roof. Now, you can check it out later on through the installation process. Also, Add-on Design also has this great white armrest cover, and this particular cover is actually easy to clean, so which is really good. So how I power everything is a little different than what the manual did. What I have here is I actually have a Rondo USB and cigarette power adapter charger, as you can see here. All right, and I also have a power adapter extender, which is actually installed directly into the glove box. So you can check that out in the installation part of this video, but I just wanted to give you firsthand on how I had everything set up. Now, the great thing about this setup with the power adapter from Rondo is that I can just touch the button real quick on the bottom here, and I can turn everything on with a touch of a button instead of trying to turn on the switch, or if I don't want it on when I turn the car on automatically, I can turn that off anytime I want just by pressing a button right down here. As you can see here, turning on and off. So let me go over the options real quick. Option 1 is going to give you everything you see here, the center console. You're going to have a strip there. And then option 2 is going to be having the same setup, having it here, and then also having it wired directly there as well. So that's option 1 and 2. Now, if you decide to go to option 3 route, you would be able to have it directly with the sunshade. So because with my particular setup, I actually was able to use option 1 and option 3 and custom installed it, where I was able to have the LED strips in my footwell. All right, so let's go to the start of the video so you can see the unbox and how I installed this. Both kits have the same exact items. First item is the USB adapter, which has both USB-C and USB-A ports. Next, there's a handful of double-sided tape for the LED strips. There's enough tape just in case you need to redo it. A black felt-like electrical tape that will hide wires if needed. 2 trim removal tools. Bluetooth Symphony controller info. A remote for the lights. 4 LED strips and USB-A as a power source, which has 4 wires. 2 long and 2 short cables to attach to LED strips. Before we start, we want to make sure that all these lights are working. Plug the LED strips to the power cables and then plug it into the power socket. The last thing you want to do is install the whole kit and finding out that one of the strips are not working. Since I have the power sunshade from Honcho, I took the sunshade out in order for me to start my custom installation. After taking the sunshade out, it took me a few minutes on how to figure out how I want to set this up. I finally figured it out. I was going to slide the fishing cable through the headliner by pulling the headliner down a bit and pulling down the A-pillar. Since the power cable is not long enough, I'll be using the power socket extender, which I'm going to attach it to the Rondo power splitter where I can turn it on and off manually. It seems like it's crazy, but I would like to turn the LEDs on and off when I need to. In order to have an even install on both sides of the sunshade, I measured 2¼ inches from the metal bracket. I taped the LED strip to the sunshade so I can see how much I would need to cut off at the end. Be sure to cut off the end without the power cable. After you make the cut, you can take the other LED strip and match the length from the LED strip you just cut. This will give you identical lengths for the sunshade. Now that we have the LED strips cut to the proper length, it's time to apply the double-sided tape. Be sure to secure the double-sided tape onto the LED strip. Again, measure 2¼ inches from the bracket and tape down the LED strip to the sunshade. Next thing you want to do is take the backing off the double-sided tape and adhere it onto the rubber strip on the sunshade. Be sure to have the LED strips stick out just a tad bit so it can shine better into the car. Be sure to inspect the LED strips is on securely onto the rubber strip. Make any necessary adjustments if needed. You are then to replicate the same steps on the other side of the sunshade. Just be sure to have the power cables facing the front of the sunshade. The next step is to take 2 long power cables to the fishing wire. Be sure to wrap the connectors really well. You don't want to have the connectors pop off when fishing the wire through the headliner. Gently pull down the headliner and slowly snake the fishing cable through. Don't pull it too hard, you just don't want to damage anything in the headliner. The next thing you would need to do is to slide the sunshade into the Tesla. We are then going to attach the LED strips to the power cables. Be sure to have the cables placed in the area that would not pop into the car after you install the sunshade. Before we install the sunshade, I highly recommend checking the lights to see if they are working. Oh, does these lights look good? Even during the daylight, you can definitely see them. So let me show you how I ran the power cable from the center console to the glove box. I'm going to use the Rondo power splitter to power the 2 kits. There are on and off switches on the splitter, making it easy to turn the lights on and off. You see how this cable ran into the center console? Well, I'm going to do the same thing, but for the driver's side. Then I will run underneath the center console, come out the other side, and I'll run it directly into the glove box. First, you would need to pull the panel out a bit. Don't worry, it's held together with a few clips. You would need a T20 screwdriver to unbolt the 2 or 3 screws. You would then pull out the metal bracket just a bit to allow the power socket extender cable to run underneath the metal bracket. After that is done, you can put it all back together. With the provided trim removal tool, you are to slide the hook underneath the side panel and you can pull the panel out. The panel is held to the center console by a bunch of clips. You are to take out the panels on each side of the center console. Next, you are to tuck the wires into the panel and run the cable through the center console. Back to the A-pillar. There's a channel where you can run the cables through where it will not interfere with the airbags. To be more secure, I've used a few zip ties to attach the new wires to the existing OEM wiring in the channel. I ran the power socket extender and the USB adapter into the glove box. In this gap, this is where I was able to run the power socket extender through. By doing this, I was able to plug in the light kit into the extender to give power to LED strips, as you can see here. Since I had 2 LED strips laying around and wired the power supply into the glove box, I wanted to be more creative. I decided to attach the LED strips into the footwell. As you can see here, I tucked the wires behind the carpet, measured the length, and cut off the excess LED strip. I then attached the double-sided tape to the LED strips and then attached the LED strip onto the footwell. For the driver's side, I ran the wire through the bottom of the center console and placed back the side panels. I did the same steps as I did with the passenger side. Time to install the dash LED strip. I taped the strip to the dash so I can measure the perfect length for the kit. After you're happy with the length, you can cut off about 1 inch at the end. Just be sure not to cut the end with the power cable. To hide the colored wires, I use the tape provided with the kit. Next, what we want to do is to add a double-sided tape. Be sure to apply it evenly throughout the LED strip. You want to attach the LED strip more towards the inside of the vent to give that dreamy glow inside the dash. I highly recommend pulling out the dash if you are comfortable in doing it. On both sides of the dash, there are 2 air vents that blows air to the side windows. You are to attach the LED strip from vent to vent across the dash. The power wire is tucked above the air vent, giving you the clean look. By taking the dash panel out, it helps placing the LED strip evenly across the dash. Time to put the dash together. It's easy and it's held on by a few clips. To wire the LED dash light, plug the long power cable wire, and you would need to tuck the wire underneath the dash in the footwell. You would also need to tuck the wire in the center console panel as you see here. We are going to run the LED dash light power cable into the rear center console exactly how we ran the power socket extender. You need to use the T20 screwdriver again to unscrew 2 or 3 screws, pull the metal bracket so you can run the cable through. After that, you can screw everything back in and push the panel back into its position. To remove the back screen or the OEM air vent, you are to pull the screen air vent. It's actually held on with a few clips, so don't be scared. To install the center console LED strip, you are to slide the LED light strips between the metal bracket and the center console panel. You can use the trim removal tool to help open up the space so you can slide the center console light a little easier. When you get to the end, cut the LED strip to your desired length. I will then use the trim removal tool to make the LED strip flush into the center console. You will do the same for the other side. Install the light on top of the charging pad. You will need to cut the LED strip to your desired length. Connect the long power cable to the LED strip and tuck it through the whole center console panel, and the power cable will slide into the center console, as you see here. The 2 LED power cables, 1 center console light on the driver's side, and 1 center console light from the passenger side will need to run to the back. You will need to tuck the wires here between the center console panel and the center console on both sides. Next, what you want to do is plug the cables together and tuck everything into the rear center console under the airflow vent. Then you'll put the screen or OEM vent air back into place. Armrest is pretty easy to install. You would need to slide the cover over the armrest and pull the lips for the flush install. Now it's for the fun part. Time to put everything back together. Just be sure to put all the clips, moldings, and weather seals back to the original spot. If you have any question in regards to installation, please leave in the comments below. I will tell you one thing, installation is a lot easier than it looks. Being that Add-On Design sent me 2 kits to install, it allowed me to be more creative with the sunshade and the footwells. I will have all the accessories and tools needed for this installation in my description below. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up. If you are a subscriber, thank you for your support. If you're not a subscriber, click on subscribe and the notification bell. You don't want to miss out on part 4 of my Tesla transformation. Without any further delays, it's time to check out the final outcome. Please leave a comment below on what your thoughts are. Alright everybody, I'll catch you on the road. Hey guys, you want to check out something pretty cool?
Sure. Yeah. Wow. OMG! This is so cool! This is amazing.
Yeah, what's so cool about it?
It's because it's so bright.
Yeah, what do you think about the colors?
Awesome. Can you change it to any other colors?
Yeah, we actually have about 210 different patterns that we can choose from.
Wow, there's so many. Wow, can you choose a Christmas style?
I think so. We can definitely take a look.
Red, green, and white?
Yeah, maybe. Oh, look at that.
Yep.
How's that? How does that look?
Awesome. Now I can see like 2, like double.
Yeah.
Because it's right into the window.
It's the reflection off the glass.
Cool. It's like double lights.
Yeah.
So, but one of them is actually just a reflection like a ghost.